Welcome to another episode of Playing Telephone. I'm Scarlett Sanchez.
I'm Dennis Kluba.
All right, we're one day after the Emmys, but also one day after Dennis and I kind of hit the town last night.
We hung out for the first time in a while.
Yeah,
we took each other out.
Yeah, we did. It was fun.
We went a little bit fancier than we usually do, I would say.
Spruced it up.
Yeah, we didn't do our typical Saturday, but we still love a Saturday.
Yeah.
It was more of it was an upscale for, we were originally going to try something new.
I know,
and somebody who is the planner.
Yeah, I suggested this place. We want to try a new restaurant, new drinks, try something different.
Yeah.
We show up and
closed. And I don't even think it was a holiday thing. I think it was literally Mondays they're not open.
I don't think it was either. I really don't think it was.
Just didn't look.
We tried to open the door. People saw us try and
I think it was
quickly bolted.
I think it was tourists though.
Yeah.
It didn't look like anybody that really was giving it a second thought. The fact that we literally jiggled on the handle and we're like, oh.
Yeah. Luckily we found something walking distance, a little rooftop-y vibes.
How much anxiety do you get if you like walk up to a door and you like mess it up? Like say it's like a pull and you push or like opposite and there's like people kind of around you behind you. Like I get pretty nervous.
I don't.
You don't mind messing up a door?
Messing it up? What are you doing? I get more nervous for those. What are those revolving ones? I'm like, I've accidentally like gotten in with somebody I don't know. I'm like, I'm sorry.
And you're just like, you're grinding on them.
I'm like, oh.
Hope we don't get stuck in here.
Sorry.
If you're a guy, you'd be in so much trouble. Sorry, grinding on you. Oh, small spaces.
We didn't touch, but it was close.
Whoop, hope we don't get stuck.
Could you imagine getting stuck in there? What's worse, getting stuck in a revolving door or an elevator?
I think revolving door because it's so much tighter.
It's tighter, and also,
you can
like,
see.
Everybody can see you just stuck. Like, hey.
No, those things are bad. The other things that are bad are turnstiles.
What are those?
Like when you're like going on a train or like into subway or something like that, and it's like the turnstiles.
Like in airports when you want to go faster and they have the moving floor.
What are you talking about?
You know, like when you're like, there's those little.
There's a people mover that's like a platform that moves you. It's called a people mover.
Yeah, in airports.
Those scare you?
No, those don't scare me. What are you talking about? Those are the same thing.
When's the last time you like
went on a train?
Went on a train. 10 years ago? Okay, it's like
I went on a subway.
You swipe your card.
Okay.
And then it's like a little turn thing, a turnstile.
Yes. Okay. Those
That's
suck
bad.
whenever you like run into it.
And it didn't work and you thought you did?
Yeah.
Or if you like miss your op, like it did work, but then like you were too late and it's like, oh.
Gotta scan it again. Yeah. Okay.
Especially if you're visiting like somebody in New York or like somewhere, like where they use those a lot and you're like, oh, this is so awkward. And people are doing their morning commute.
Not a local. Yeah. Yikes. But we made it. We were fine.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually a great night.
Yeah.
It turned out good, despite our early shortcomings. And the fact that Scarlett was just parking somewhere that wasn't even remotely her parking spot.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I was going to get towed before we left.
Somebody literally left a note on your car that said they will tow your car next time.
Yeah, and I also didn't tell you.
And also oh, tell me.
Oh, nothing that great, but update parking place. Or our apartment complex texted me and said, hey, like, don't park there ever again. Otherwise, you will be towed. I didn't respond.
Was it Psy?
Was I supposed to reply?
Was it Psy?
It was one of those, not automated, but they don't say, hey, it's Psy, or hey, it's Dennis.
But you have his actual number.
No, it's just a number for
I know,
but
you
building.
have his. You should text him and be like, hey, like, is this legit? Like,
is this you? Yeah, they told me not to do it. Should I respond to that?
Honestly, that's diabolical behavior, though. That's why I was on his side when I got put in the middle of that. Like, not parking in your spot is diabolical.
Dennis was fully like, I know, she's the worst. I can't believe she did this. It was quick, okay? Also,
you do that every day, though.
I do it every day, but it's because that was my original spot, and I got moved.
Because they put in electric chargers.
Because they put in electric charger cars, and then they moved me to this tiny compact right next to a pole. The first day that I parked there, I run into the pole, have to drop money to fix my car. Yeah. Yes, I ran into the pole myself, but it was still, it's triggering to go back to that spot, It just kind of hurts.
I get that. I'm just saying, literally, we have to park on the top floor.
Okay.
Wide open spaces. That's the only upside of that
is that there's no one next to you because no one wants to park.
There's
all the
people
way up there.
next. There's people next to us.
Our parking structure just goes up and up
and
and up and up. It probably takes you an extra 5 minutes to get down if you're at the top.
It does.
Which is why I want a good parking spot.
Okay, well, you want a good parking spot, or do you want to hit your car every time with on a pole that stands still, a stanchion?
I did park in my correct space today.
How scared were you?
I was a little bit scared, but there were no cars around me.
Nice.
So I wasn't scared. Whew. But yeah, somebody did comment though at work. They were like, "Oh yeah, I noticed you like kind of suck at parking," and I was like, "Oh, thanks."
Did you say bye?
He was like, "Yeah, you're always like outside the lines," and I was like, "Oh." Yeah.
Okay, parking police, get out of here, Jeffrey or whoever it is.
Liam.
Literally, Liam, stop watching me park.
He knows. I laughed. I was like, yeah, I'm not the best. I've been told I'm not a good driver.
Yeah, but like, take care of yourself. Not you, whoever this person is that's judging your driving. Also, hot girls hit curbs. You know, and that's just
exactly. I'll take that. And I have a wound.
Yeah, Scarlett lets me know before we go out, really get my spirits up about this night out. She's like, I can't really walk well. I see her start like limping. I'm like, what's wrong with you? She's like, oh, I have a wound. I'm like, what do you mean a wound? She has basically like a level 5 blister, like a really bad blister.
Shut up.
That she got while she was at the Chargers game on Sunday. It just apparently had no idea what was happening.
A couple drinks in me. Didn't notice my boot was just like cutting and gashing into my skin.
Also, if you've been listening for a while, of course, everyone, where did she go afterwards?
Where?
Urgent care. I said earlier, you literally are in urgent care all the time. And you're like, no, I am not.
No, I'm not.
Everybody document it. This is already in 2024. How many times have you been in urgent care? Just this once? Oh, yeah, twice.
Once in December, so like...
Okay.
Whew, not quite this year. Yeah, and I went to urgent care on Sunday, okay? So I waited a whole week, and then I just noticed, like, it's kind of starting to hurt to walk a little bit. There's a little bit of redness around the scar. Not a blister. The gash. And I look up, I was like, what's it mean if redness is going around?
You're like such a WebMD person.
Your scab, 100%. Or TikTok, anything TikTok. Like, what should I do about my scab?
Oh, that's terrible. Also, the fact that you're not on normal TikTok, like normally, but you're on TikTok for medical advice is insane.
Listen.
You're like, I won't watch, For You page? Like, who's Alex Earl? But instead she's like, what do I do about a wound? How do I treat a medical wound?
They know everything. TikTokers know everything, okay? Anyways, though, I did go to urgent care. I have an infection. This is real.
I have a doctor's note.
I could show you. And I'm on antibiotics for the next week.
Good.
3 times a day. So tell me how serious it is.
Should you have been drinking?
I looked up my specific prescription, and it said that alcohol is allowed. Yeah. Although I do know that antibiotics typically it kind of counteracts the whole idea. So
really? I usually kind of just vibe out anyway.
Yeah.
I take the chance.
But I'm okay letting that wound air out. Showed Dennis. Yeah, I don't care. Gross? Let's hear it. And he said you literally have a scratch.
Yeah, it looks fine.
So, anyways, that's that.
Let's get to the news.
This is the news.
The elusive individual who's on the inside of Taylor Swift's camp that allegedly was playing Matchmaker, who we've talked about like in November.
Yep.
Who is this character?
Who is Cupid?
That Travis was talking about on the New Heights podcast, right? Yeah. That somebody had helped him kind of cultivate this meeting or relationship, has finally revealed themselves in the most unlikely of places. Flow Racing TikTok.
Yeah, on a TikTok interview. Mm-hmm. It was Taylor Swift's second cousin, Danny Freyd III, has spoken out. And he is the one who made the love connection, is what he said, between Travis and Taylor Swift. That's great. A little family coming together, locking things up, setting his cousin up.
I'll just say, this makes no sense to me.
I honestly, when I first watched the interview, I was like, this isn't real.
No.
This guy doesn't know Taylor.
Yeah.
Doesn't know Travis.
I don't want to say what people should or shouldn't exude. God.
Yeah.
When they're like related to Taylor Swift or like they're playing Matchmaker for this too. But if you ask me, he's not who you maybe would typically think is playing Matchmaker.
Maybe not Matchmaker. We could have been nervous for the
Cam.
Nervous for the interview. Okay.
Right.
I'm more okay. I believe obviously he's Taylor Swift's cousin. He shows a screenshot of them.
True.
He goes to the Chiefs games with her. They grew up together, is what he said. They kind of lost contact, not lost contact, but like they didn't stay as close, understandably, as.
He's also a second cousin.
Yes.
How many second cousins do you know?
I know my second cousin.
Well,
Mark. Yeah.
There's
Every
one.
Christmas.
There's one.
I don't have. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out Mark.
Thanks. Hey, Mark.
This is literally like if Mark set you up, would you be like,
thank you.
Random.
Set
Thanks,
me
Mark.
up with Travis Kelce, Mark.
Everybody find out who your second cousin is and go like, why aren't you working harder?
Play Cupid. But yeah, he said that they kind of weren't as close. But like also that just happens
when people become adults.
Exactly. Not necessarily being famous, but yeah, you go different places.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, Travis had alluded to the fact that he was introduced or what is it? Connected with?
Yeah, connected, I guess.
Yeah, through someone in Taylor's camp.
Still. So he DM'd Travis and was like, hey,
this is
dog.
The part I don't get, yeah.
Okay, do you know?
No, this is the part I don't get.
Yeah.
Hey, what is his connection to Travis?
Like, hey, dog, saw you were shooting your shot. LOL. Sorry that she wasn't around. I'm her cousin. Do you want her number?
That must have been it.
But, like, the weirdest DM to actually respond to when you know he gets a ton of DMs. He opened that?
But I'm sure he has a publicist. You know, the publicist.
And so Danny went out of his way to reach out to Travis's publicist and was like, hey, I actually am going to give you my cousin's number. I'm Taylor Swift's cousin.
He wanted to meet Taylor Swift.
Maybe it sounds like, you know what it sounds like to me now that we're talking about it? Danny wanted to meet Travis Kelce.
You think?
Let me give you my cousin's number. And we should be boys.
And we can hang out.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that. But it worked.
I'm glad that it's working out. I just don't love it.
It's kind of cute that it's a family member, but, like, that's it.
Now, the more that I'm talking through it, it doesn't feel completely...
When he did that Wall Street Journal interview, though, remember when he was like, and Travis. I was hanging out with her little cousins. Do you remember when we kept laughing about that?
We thought it was 11-year-olds.
Was he referring
to 33-year-old?
Danny Frey the third?
Yeah.
Well, he's not very little.
No, he's a grown man. Who dirt races or whatever.
Good for them, though. Obviously, the Chiefs finally won on Saturday when this interview happened.
Playoffs. It was freezing.
Andy Reid's mustache froze over.
It's very cold in Kansas City. It was very cold in Missouri, where we're both from. Shout out.
Yeah.
They also played the Miami Dolphins, which could only have been terrible for them, coming from that Miami Heat and then being like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Like 0 degrees.
Perfect. Negative degrees.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's exactly where I want to play. Did you like playing in cold weather when you played soccer? I played in cold weather too. Listen.
From your wound.
I know. He was like, you act like you never played sports with my wound. Listen, I had like more like muscle injuries.
Right.
Not gashes.
Yeah. Dramatic.
Did you like playing in the cold though?
I mean, like
the rain.
Cold
Snow?
was bad, but I mean, like I liked a brisk morning, fall.
Yeah. Did you ever put those little like heat pads?
I wasn't big on that, but like some people were.
I put them in my shoes.
Oh. Right. Good.
But yeah, and also Taylor Swift was sitting with Donna Kelce, Brittany Mahomes, and their matching jackets. Yes.
We didn't even talk about this at the time. It came across my TikTok page, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
So interesting. We talked about last week at the Golden Globes that infamous lip reading situation.
Right.
Selena, Taylor, Kaylee Sperry, right? Mm-hmm. Miles Teller's wife.
Regarding
we did
Kylie
not
Jenner.
even talk about Brittany and Taylor being besties.
Yeah.
In the booth.
Yeah.
And Brittany
It's not new.
Brittany and Patrick doing Skims campaigns.
Yeah.
How is that not a massive rift?
How do you think that conversation went? I feel like
hey, sorry, I just saw like you accepted a bunch of money from
Kim Kardashian.
Skims, like my worst enemy.
My arch nemesis. Listen, Brittany.
But they're like still...
You need to get your priorities straight.
But they're still vibing.
If you're a ride or die, you do not go do business
with the enemy.
Your best friend's enemy. It's not okay. It's
but
giving
like,
Brittany Mahomes.
It's so interesting though, isn't it? Like, what was that phone call like?
I feel like it was just a good opportunity, but still. Do you think she gave Taylor a heads up beforehand? Hey, I'm going to do this? I sure hope so. Maybe it was organized before they were besties.
Could be. I feel like it was more like Taylor's like, hey, honestly, girl, like, get your bag. Because you're not me.
Like, why? Did you need the bag that badly? Also, we talked about it for a day.
Maybe it's empowering for her.
They're also big enough that they didn't need to do the Skims campaign.
No, true. I don't know.
Just saying.
Okay, I will say, Mahomes is before we leave this story, the one weird quote from that interview that Danny did was that stood out to me that you put in there, but then when I like read it again was...
This is from Travis. It's Wall Street Journal. Right?
Okay.
The Cupid part?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There were definitely people she knew that knew who I was in her corner.
Yes, Travis said that.
There were definitely people she knew that knew who I was.
In her corner, her cousin.
Okay.
And then her cousin said, yo, did you know he was coming to Taylor?
Okay.
And then Travis says, I had someone playing Cupid, and therefore Cupid is Danny Trey.
Thank you for
Danny
clearing
the third.
Thank you for clearing that up because I thought that was him saying that. Being
no.
like, there are people who knew who I was in her corner. I was like, did people?
Danny Frey, no. The third.
The third. Would you ever, another one before we leave, juniors or the third, would you ever? Like your like spouse is like,
I've never liked that. I don't like it. I personally don't like it. Mm-hmm. I don't.
I feel like I don't want to be rude, but I feel like it's associated with like not great people. Like in history.
Yeah.
Like any kid named Junior, like you know, they're a junior. I feel like they end up being a villain in like a high school movie.
Yeah. I think it's like maybe a cute nickname just to call them Junior. But also I want my own name.
My own name. I agree with you. Usually I feel like those kids end up going by their middle name anyway to like differentiate themselves, to have their own identity.
Right.
But the third?
Or they go by their first and middle and then, but then usually that's the same too. Never mind. To be a third needs to be the same.
It's true. We'll stop shitting on Danny Frey the third.
I know. No, great.
He set them up. That's what's important.
Thank you for giving us the best relationship of 2023.
Hallelujah.
I'm waiting for engagement.
Touchdown, Jesus.
Wedding bells. Touchdowns.
Babies. We'll see what ends up happening. The Chiefs are still in the playoffs, so obviously they're going to fight another week. Taylor, I'm sure, will be at that game.
Who do you think is going to be at the Super Bowl?
You keep asking me that. You know how busy I am. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl.
You're so busy that you don't know?
On Sundays, I'm like not watching the game. I couldn't believe the Eagles got eliminated last night. That was wild.
Okay. And Travis Kelce's brother, Jason, is reportedly retiring.
Yeah, he's like 45.
There was rumors that Travis was retiring, but I think those are really about his brother.
Yeah.
He was crying on the sideline. Remember we were watching the game at the bar?
Yeah, we were.
It's like, oh, he's sad.
You were literally calling out his emotions. You're like, will he stop crying? Like, I can't believe they keep panning to him like that. Like, toughen up. That was you last night.
I did not say toughen up.
That was you. I was like, he's literally going through it.
But you didn't know why at that moment, did you?
I'm almost positive I knew. He like thought about retiring last year and then he came back.
Oh, see. Okay, sports cap on.
Regardless.
Okay.
The Chiefs aren't going to be in the Super Bowl. I don't know who is. I don't know who is, to be honest.
Okay.
Let's move on. Yeah, excited for it. It's only in it's literally in a month.
I know. So close.
Flying by. Mean Girls. We talked about it last week. Premiered. So cool that Lindsay Lohan was a part of it. She ultimately played the mathematician. The
limit
judge.
does not exist.
Yeah, the judge or whatever, right? For the competition.
Mm-hmm.
As a cameo.
Yeah.
But.
Which got leaked before the movie came out. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
She was a little bit upset by a line in the film that I think because she was only on set for one day, she didn't know about probably.
Which is wild to me though.
That she didn't read the script.
Yeah.
Basically it was Megan Thee Stallion, who we talked about, is in the film, but she's not in it as a character. She's basically in it on a screen, playing herself. But she says, what is it? We were going back red. Y2K Fire Crotch is back.
Yeah.
And this is a reference to an infamous video that apparently went viral back in like 06, Paris Hilton era, that was making fun of Lindsay Lohan because of obviously
having a fire crotch. Yeah, it was a video of Brandon Davis and Paris. They're walking around the streets of LA, and he says, Lindsay Lohan, she's a fire crotch. And that obviously really pissed her off at the time. Maybe something that triggers her now. And then that line got added into the script of this new musical version. And yeah, Lindsay was apparently really pissed.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I would be too.
Yeah.
But I think that it was interesting though too that like, I don't know. It was interesting to me that Tina Fey, who was a writer on it and wrote the first one,
that's what I'm saying,
didn't respond to comment for it and also like wrote that in.
Yes, she's the writer.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
would you think that she'd be happy about that?
Are girls not supporting girls anymore?
I sure hope so. But yeah, it is interesting though, because I would think that since Tina and her are obviously friends and friendly, that she would have given her the heads up and said, hey, I wrote this in. But maybe Tina just thought it was funny and really thought nothing of it and thought, Lindsay would just be like, oh, that annoying 2006 clip, TBT. But don't love it.
Don't love it either. Can we also just talk about how insane like that era of pop culture was? We've talked about this before, but like
definitely
people were
a Mean
just
Girls
saying
moment.
things.
That was Mean Girls
actual
moment.
Mean Girls.
Yeah. They're cracking up. He's like, fire crotch. And Paris Hilton's on her little flip phone.
Like not even actually like internet trolls. Like people were just saying things in public.
Yeah. Cruel.
Yeah, like it was wild.
But also what an era.
But also like to a certain degree, Lindsay owned that.
Yeah.
I don't know, like
you can
kind of vibe with that.
Yeah. You vibe with the fire crotch?
I feel like she should just own it.
Yeah.
Be like, and?
I don't think it needed to be as big of a thing, but I get if she's hurt and disappointed by it, which are the words that she used in the interview.
They should have asked her beforehand.
They should have asked her.
She should have read the script.
If it's a direct dig towards her, where was her team? If you do a cameo, I get you only show up for one little scene. Still, I want to know. This is a movie that I did in 2004, major character. I'm a staple to this.
Also,
I want to read it.
I am the franchise.
What if Tina did exactly? That's what I'm saying. She's huge.
I mean, I don't want to be like I don't want to be like if I were her like a dick, but I'd be like, hey, like without me, like is Mean Girls as big as it is? Like, can you do this reboot? Like, really?
Mean Girls is so iconic
to her career and to like I'm saying, like she was pivotal to us, like them being able to do a musical and then this movie now pivoted on her casting.
Yeah, they need to stop redoing this movie. Just don't do it anymore.
Bar none. But okay. Just to be fair though, I have been kind of talking crap on it all week, and I have a tendency to do this where I haven't even seen it yet, but I'm not loving it.
Give it a chance.
I need to be more open, give it a chance. But it did do $33.2 million in its first weekend in like I know. In only 3,000 theaters.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a lot or a little compared to how many theaters they usually open with, like if we're talking Barbie or Oppenheimer. But
well, Barbie was
everywhere.
Yeah, billion.
Yeah. Theaters?
Oh no! Oh, I thought you meant how much money.
The opening weekend was like but it was like 124 or something like that million the first weekend, right?
Gotcha.
But my thing is that what they said in there, regardless of the numbers, is that it was not a flop.
No.
And so like that's where I'm saying like I'm shitting on it, but
no, I don't think it was bad.
It's doing enough.
I just don't think you can ever
do as good.
You can't reach the level of what that was, which maybe they weren't trying to do that. Also, apparently people were shocked to know it was a musical when they showed up at the theater. Yeah. Okay. It was obviously advertised as that. You guys didn't know what you were walking into. I love musicals, though.
I like musicals that are done well.
Yeah. Like Mamma Mia.
Yeah. But I also think that's a lot of the reason why Renee Rapp was cast as Regina George, because she did play her on Broadway and is a known singer as opposed to somebody else. So, it did seem skewed that way. My other question was, remind me again, you probably don't know either, because I'm pulling this out of left field. Why is Lindsay in Dubai?
I know she did some acting there.
she like her residence. They talked about like she flew out for half a day of shooting.
She's been there for a
half
while.
a day of shooting. $500,000.
Yeah, and her and her husband live there.
And
baby now.
And is who?
Bader.
Ginsburg?
No. Lindsay. I can't reach it.
But like, why is she in? I don't know. Like Dubai's
She lives
wild.
there.
But is he like Middle Eastern?
She wanted to get away from Hollywood. I remember reading that at one point.
In Dubai.
Yeah. And there was like rumors that they were gonna have like a Real Housewives. Yeah, Bader Shamos.
He must be Middle Eastern or something like that. Then. I don't know.
Yeah, and they had their baby. Aww. In Arabic, his name means shield or protector. Blue eye.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Financier husband.
Or
There you
what?
go. I was reading who Bader Shamas is.
Okay, yeah.
All I'm saying is she deserved better.
She did deserve better. Especially, you don't want to disrespect exactly what you're talking about. Lindsay Lohan brought you all this. You're going to disrespect her? Tina. What if Tina did send it and she just didn't check her Gmail?
Totally possible.
I think that's possible.
Also,
she's busy in Dubai.
But also,
she's a new mom.
The way that she acted too, of just filming for half a day. Is there is there a possibility that she was like, didn't read the script?
No, she definitely did not read the script. That's what we're saying. Got lost in the mail.
That bothers me too.
Well, she could have just read her scene. You don't have to read the whole script.
Don't you want to know if it's a good movie?
Yes. You should. Maybe you should. But you don't have to. She's Lindsay Lohan. She's going to go, show up for her scene, and dip. And then she's going to go see it. And she's going to go to the premiere. And she's going to applaud it. And then she watches it, and she's like, you guys are talking about my fire crotch. Leave my fire crotch alone.
I would not want
I
would not want to be walking onto set not knowing the plot of the film. Or
oh, I don't know the plot. It's a reboot.
It's got to be different in some regard.
I know Aaron Samuels is not as much of a jock. He's more sensitive.
The only reason you know that is because reviews.
I know that Miss Norbury and the Principal Duval are actually dating. Caddy has a single mom. Janice is openly queer, unlike in the other one.
Very cool.
Iconic four-way call scene.
Yeah. It's the call scene. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, boo, you whore.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. There's too many things
that they missed. That they messed up.
But we will see it though. We should go see it. We need to go see it. We need to go see it. Okay.
Get off this.
We can't keep commenting on things we haven't seen. Okay, apologies for that. Moving on.
That's this show though. Bunch of phonies.
A bunch of phonies over here.
Barf. But moving on, literally, Dua Lipa had an interview recently. Who did she have an interview with? Rolling Stone?
Rolling Stone, yeah. She's on the February cover.
Had an interview, and she talked about her, like, coming up this year. She's going to be releasing an album, but she also talked about her love life, which we don't always get a big insight into, I feel like.
No, because remember she dated Anwar Hadid, and then she was dating that one director.
Roman Gravas.
Yes.
And then, like, for a second, there were rumors about her and Jack Harlow. Do you remember that for a second?
That was such a hot second, though.
I would have loved that more than whatever. No comment.
Okay.
But she talks in the article, in the interview, about this breakup, which is weird because they say, like, we don't really know who she's talking about. But the only thing that she was linked to was the 42-year-old French director, Roman Gravas. So, like, my take is it has to be him.
I think it's him. It has to be him.
Right.
They started dating back in February-ish.
Yeah.
Remember, they did their big debut on the red carpet when Anwar was going through it, and they debuted at Cannes Film Festival. But then there were reports that they broke around December, maybe November.
Of this year?
Of 2023.
2023, yeah.
So, last year.
She put him on their story, like on Instagram. Like, it was a real thing.
Vacations. Yeah, no, they were definitely together.
So it must be him that we're alluding to.
I think so.
Regardless, though, she talked about this being the first breakup where it was basically mutual. It was amicable, and she feels like that was a sign of maturity, right?
She's learned a lot.
What's your take?
Well, let's read her quote. I think I've had breakups in my life where I felt like the only kind of breakup you could have was when things just ended really badly. Things ending in a nice way was such a new thing. It taught me a lot. Have you had amicable breakups?
There's no such thing.
I don't think so either.
No such thing. Also, you know what that means? We said this about we said this about whatchamacallit?
Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny hanging out.
Amicable breakups
holidays.
means it wasn't
real.
serious enough. It wasn't serious enough for it to be sad.
Or are we just immature?
No.
Okay. I don't think so either. I think
if it's amicable, it means that it wasn't deep enough.
It wasn't deep enough. I just don't think exes can be legitimate friends. I don't.
For sure. I don't think she's saying that.
No.
She's like, she says in the article that I am happy for them to like move on and see someone else, and I can be happy for their growth. If you broke up in December, no.
That's also true. The timeline, it's January. Whether it was November or December, it's only been 2 months.
What it means to me is that she was never as into him or like as deep as maybe he was. Yeah. And that's why she's fine with him moving on. Mm-hmm. But if it were the other way around, and that's where it's like, going back to the script, when a heart breaks, it doesn't break even.
Yeah, and that's true. And I think you do want eventually for that person to find like obviously you're heartbroken, okay?
Not on that's my timeline, harder to see. Don't.
But yeah, I don't want to see it though. But I do wish you the best. I don't want you to be suffering. Wait, you wish them terrible?
No. I agree with you. I'm saying just
I don't want to see it.
Not on my timeline.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
I'd like to believe that in another life you're having a great time. Like,
so do you hit the block?
No, just
you don't want to see
unfollow.
Unfollow. Mm-hmm. No mute.
Just like, hey, like things didn't work out, and it's hard for me too. I have regrets about it as well. I would rather just kind of remember the time that we had together, and almost kind of like keep that as a essential memory, and let you go do your own thing and let me go do my own thing.
I do like the idea of being on good terms though, but I've heard sometimes, like, say you do the breaking up, you have to be okay with that person hating you in a way to help them move on.
For sure.
Thoughts, takes. Do you think that's a real thing? Do you think they have to like...
I think that the maturity side is I think a little bit of immaturity is hating someone.
Yeah, hate's a strong word.
I think maturity is knowing that there was love there, but I see it more as like if you do connect or if you think of that person, it's almost like a bittersweet of like, I hope they're doing good. It does make me sad that they're not in my life at all. Because a lot of the times we remember the good things.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And so you're always like, oh, all I can think about is great memories. When in reality, there's a reason you guys broke up. But most people don't think of the bad things. And so it's like a bittersweet. It's sad more than mad for me.
But I think that's a mature way to think of it.
And I'm mature, and people know that on this show. The phonies know that.
Listen. Okay. I'll let you have that one, because that was a very good take. But the hating part you didn't really touch on, though. So you're saying...
I've never hated...
You've never hated to get over. Okay. Neither have I.
I've always had respect and like love and more like been sad.
Yeah, I think it's more sadness. But I think people use that as a coping mechanism in a way to be like, I'm going to hate this person so I can get over you.
I think it's both. I think it's you're either sad or you're mad. It's to the same end point of I need to get over it. Mm-hmm. And so really, I don't blame either side. I know that that's a coping mechanism but for me, I'm more of a like, hey, I'm kind of sad right now.
Yeah. Breakups are hard.
Apparently not for Dua Lipa, though.
Apparently not. Also I feel like sometimes it's amicable. Doesn't it kind of leave the door open sometimes? You're like, oh, hey.
Amicable,
door's kind of open.
Amicable means we hooked up.
Amicable is what
we hung out.
Is what every celebrity couple says they are. Amicable. Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner. Oh, we ended on mutual amicable terms.
Because no one ever called each other like...
biggest custody fight.
Yeah.
Eyes. Okay, yeah.
How is Roman, assuming it's Roman, feeling?
He's
like, does the interview and she's like, yeah, super amicable while he's pissed and crying at home. Could you imagine?
That's what I'm saying. It's different for each person. She could think it was amicable and the other person is livid.
Yeah.
Crying.
No.
He's still eating ice cream because it was, a month ago. I would be.
I don't know. She talks about also in the article,
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about how she's moving on.
Yeah. Oh, she's quickly moved on. Yeah.
Not
quickly.
How do you feel about, like, she's now not even like
she doesn't
there's
talk
rumors
about this in her interview.
No, not even those rumors. They've been seen out together. Callum Turner, who is in Fantastic Beasts franchise, and then also just recently starred in The Boys in the Boat, which came out on Christmas. I like him better without the blonde hair. He has the blonde hair in Boys in the Boat. Kind of a weird look for me. I think he looks. I saw him with his natural hair color, and I was like, okay, better looking guy.
Right.
But if she broke up with whomever, Roman, in December, it's January.
Yeah, girl.
The reason it's amicable is because you never were in it.
I don't know if I believe that statement. I don't think so. I think you can still have real feelings, break up, and then you just happen to find someone.
A month later?
It's a little quick, but I think it's 100% possible.
Or see the rebound.
Some people are relationship girlies, and some people just find rebounds.
I was going to talk about that too. How do you feel about somebody that is not necessarily letting things process, is jumping from relationship to relationship?
I think everybody needs that time to heal, to actually process like that person's relationship, process the heartbreak, whatever it is, process what went wrong, learn from what went wrong. Why didn't it work out? Okay, what am I looking for in my next relationship? And then also take that time to yourself. Because I think also she did an interview recently where she talked about how sometimes people are always chasing for the next love. And it's like, let's just be by ourselves and enjoy this time. Yes.
But also, hypocrite.
True. Okay.
Okay, but Houdini.
She's been single before. It's not like she just jumps.
I agree with that. I'm just saying in this case.
Sometimes you don't know when you're going to meet someone, which that's why you can't knock her for being like, oh, she met this guy. Also, we don't know how serious her.
Obviously, the last one wasn't serious.
But we don't know how serious this new relationship is either. You can date people too. Exactly.
I just remember that it feels like that of her relationships, the Anwar Hadid one was very
That one was very serious. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, now she's dating, what's his name?
Callum Turner.
They were seen at Masters in the Air. There was like a video, of them kind of slow dancing in the back. That obviously they didn't want to be seen, but there was a little video. And then they made it public after that video got, I don't know if you want to call it leaked, but it got published. And then she went to a little Q&A event. He had a press event. So she went and supported him there. And they got sushi after in Santa Monica.
Cute.
So now they're public.
Also both British.
Yeah.
And I mean, I obviously Dua Lipa has Albanian heritage.
Yes.
With her parents and everything like that. But she was born and raised, I think, in Britain. So, like, really, I assume they have that in common.
Yeah. Cool.
Comparatively. I'm just saying that's a point of, like London, like things like that. Here's to say, we don't know how serious it was. She's clearly moving on.
Yeah.
Go read the article yourself, but that's Dua's.
And she touched on a lot of other things too, but yeah, obviously we focus
new music
on
coming out this year.
And new music. No release date, but I'm feeling an album.
I do pump a Dua Lipa album.
I know. I wish she was doing Coachella. We'll talk about that
later.
Okay.
Let's get on to some stinky news.
Stanky.
We were talking about this last night when we were out.
Which is so funny.
People.
Thoughts on showering?
I'm like in every day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that wasn't me asking you. But yeah, I'm an everyday shower too.
Okay. There's people who aren't.
No.
People who aren't are Brad Pitt. We're bringing this up also because this has been a trend in Hollywood as of recent. People talking about not bathing for long periods of time.
Yeah, Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher not really giving their kids baths and everything. But now the person talking about it is Ryan Priestley, 90210 alum. He was also in Thelma and Louise. Yeah, big actor. And before they kind of blew up in fame, they were living in, quote, a crappy LA apartment. He was living with Brad Pitt and one other person. And he said that as roommates, they would play this game. Who can go the longest without showering? Weird. It's kind of a weird game, no?
Stinky.
Yeah, they probably had a very stinky apartment. But yeah, they would play this game, and then Kelly asked, because it was on live with Kelly and Mark. Kelly and Lipa.
I literally was about to say Ryan and Kelly. Or Kelly and Ryan.
Bye, Ryan. On to Wheel of Fortune.
Oh my God. Okay, go. Jump scare.
I know. Anyways, though, yeah, so she asked what was he like and everything, and then he said he was a pretty good roommate, but yeah, they talked about the game, but he said that Brad Pitt would always win. He would go the longest without showering. He goes, oh, I don't think he does this anymore. I hope not. But yeah.
I could still see him doing it.
Well, that's the thing. The big thing about not showering, is apparently it's better for your health.
Sure.
And women who think it's not good for your hair.
Yep. Yeah.
I know people who go days without showering, washing their hair. I can't do it.
I understand washing your hair. That's like, I mean, I know that's a thing. I know it's a thing. But I'm saying body.
No, definitely wash your body every day. Definitely wash your
Come
body
from a
every
girl
day.
who doesn't use deodorant.
Listen, did we need to say that? You want to smell them?
No. I'm
Get in there. They smell like roses.
Not getting that close to your womb.
That I've also heard is a health hazard.
Yeah.
Can cause cancer.
Okay. Conspiracy theorist now.
Okay. Craig Conover. Okay, but yeah, it is like better to not wash your hair every day, according to science.
Okay. Here's another thing though.
But I'm going to. I don't want to smell.
No. I think that's one of the biggest turnoffs that you can have with anybody. You're seeing
Hygiene's
somebody
huge.
out.
And I am very much so in the, like, I'm not popular opinion here. I think most people do skip days. It's like every other day, or we'll go 3 days. I
think most guys shower every day.
Yeah. That's why I said ladies.
Ladies.
To
each their own, obviously. I think there's a little bit of a difference between, they talked about in that time, none of them were famous yet.
Yeah.
In LA.
Yeah.
Living in a crappy part of town. There's a difference between successful stinky and like, hey, like.
No, there's not.
No?
No. I don't care
Broke stanky?
what you do.
Broke stanky?
What you do, where you go, shower.
We talked about it though.
I don't care.
Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, doesn't matter.
I don't care if you're the most famous person. If you're not showering, get out.
Have you ever told somebody they stink?
Thought it.
Have you ever been like,
Yeah.
hey?
Yeah. I mean, if somebody asks.
Okay, but you won't like to a friend. Is it the right thing to do to a friend to be like, hey, like
No,
I don't want to?
I actually have.
You've told a friend.
I have.
Been like, hey.
She gave me a hug, and I was like, what day are you on?
Wait, you did.
Like, what day is it? And she said, day 5. And I said, I can tell. I did. She knows, though.
Day 5.
Day 5, y'all.
And she's walking around going to the gym? Or like.
Probably was an off week.
Okay, off week.
That is the thing, too. That's why I don't understand people who just, like, don't fully shower. I'm all for whatever. Wait as many days as you need to for the hair.
Was your friend dating someone at the time or no?
Single at the time.
Okay.
Single at the time. So, like, don't shower for weeks. Let the stank ride.
I'm rotted.
In
my rot era.
Yeah, so kind of a gross little fact, but Brad Pitt obviously looks good. I'm sure he smells good. Just throw a little
Hopefully
cologne
now.
on there.
Hopefully
Throw a
now.
little cologne on there. Yeah. But other things that were happening so much were award shows. Award shows are just back in swing. We talked about the Golden Globes. Then we had the Critic Choice Awards on Sunday. We also had the Emmys on Monday night. Emmys was previously delayed because of the writer's strike, but back at it again. Critics' Choice Award host was Chelsea Handler, which was a big deal because her ex of 2 years, Joe Coy, had gotten a lot of bad reviews for hosting the Golden Globes. The Golden Globes. And
That's what we do. It's the Golden Reviews.
his jokes fell flat, and Chelsea's did not.
Did better.
I thought she did really well. She did her job. She did nice. She always makes me laugh.
I don't know much about, like, I really don't know that much about Chelsea Handler, but I think she's funny.
I think she's very funny, yeah.
And that's where I think people have strong opinions about her. They either love her or they hate her.
Yeah.
But I lean towards
Like
the
most comedians,
side. Yeah, exactly. But versus Joe Coy, I really have never listened to any of his stand-up or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And then it feels like the one big shot that he got on Golden Globes, I'd say probably one of the biggest stages he was on.
Yeah.
It just did not hit, which is frustrating, which must feel great for Chelsea Handler.
I think it did a little bit. And she gave a little dig in her monologue, too. She said, and I did write that joke. Because remember when he did
He
the
said,
NFL joke, he said,
yeah.
"Oh, I didn't write that one," as try to backpedal, which I think was also written in there as a joke. I don't know, but he didn't do as well. Chelsea, I thought, did. And then the other host was for the Emmys, Anthony Anderson. But this has been a bit, and he did a good job too. There's been a big conversation if we should even have hosts. Remember, they haven't had hosts for Oscars. A lot of comedians or hosts in general are just saying it's kind of a thankless job. You end up getting more criticism more than anything.
Can I just say that with Joe Coy's hosting,
Chris Rock got slapped. Okay.
LOL. With Joe Coy's thing, I'm like, some of the jokes that he made weren't funny and were so crass. Like it's one of those things where it's like, hey, like I feel like if you say something clever that's edgy, people will get it. Mm-hmm. People will be like, oh, I get what they were trying to do there. His joke, like about Barbie and Oppenheimer, wasn't funny, and it was so like crass that I'm like, bro, like it's almost like you've seen how people have gotten hate and have gotten bad reviews, and this is like highly a thankless job. You basically just went out and just did the worst job you could.
And remember, he said that he found out like 8 or 10 days before, and he wasn't fully prepared. I don't care. You could have gotten that job an hour before.
You don't say the big boobs joke.
Yeah. I just don't think that's
not even
an
funny.
excuse. I know people are saying, hey, cut him some slack. You didn't have enough time to prepare. But also, it's kind of your job in that industry to be able to do things on the fly. I really think so. You're making, like...
He probably made... I mean, how much money could you...
Yeah.
He probably made $250,000.
And this whole, like, thankless job, I think it is good exposure. Everybody's talking about Joe Coy. I mean, maybe not for the most positive reviews, but I think it's good. I don't think...
Any press is good press.
Any press is good press, exactly. But the funny thing about the Emmys, though, Anthony Anderson had a little bit of backup for his hosting. It was his mom.
Which she has like a Netflix series with or an E-series with.
Yeah, they do a lot of things together. They're very close.
Mama's Boy?
But instead, love. But instead of having that traditional music play, you know, when the speech is getting a little long.
A little lengthy.
No.
Heard.
His mom stands up, starts pointing at a time clock. When Jennifer Coolidge is giving her speech for Best Supporting Actress in a drama series for White Lotus, his mom stands up in the crowd, is pointing at a clock with a big red like X over it. I love you, baby, but you got time's up. You gotta go.
How do you feel about that?
I don't like it. Some people thought it was hilarious, a funny little bit. No, it's Jennifer Coolidge up on stage. Give her some time. I think the music is a little bit more classy. Yeah. I think, though, people shorten your speeches. You don't need to be up there so long. That I will say.
I mean, they've worked their whole life for this moment.
But they have, exactly. I think you should give them the time. If they go a little bit long, let them be.
Yeah.
But I get, like, you are in a time crunch, so you have to keep it going. But I think the music's fine. I don't know. I personally didn't love it. People thought it was funny. What'd you think?
I don't think it's funny. I think it's a little bit classless.
Yeah, and I thought it was rude. She was also in the middle of a story talking about exactly what you're saying. She's like, I never thought I'd see myself here. Like, talking about herself as a little girl. And she's like, time's up. Time to go. Wrap it up. So there was that. But the Emmys brought...
The big winners.
The big winners was The Bear, Love, Jeremy Allen White. I just binged, rewatched. And Netflix's Beef. And then HBO's Succession. All makes sense.
So good. All of them were unbelievable series. I'm glad that is what ended up happening.
Yeah.
And then obviously Christina Applegate came up and got a standing ovation for presenting the award for Best Supporting Actor in a comedy series.
Yeah.
She joked about obviously them standing up and how that was so rude considering
her disability, because she recently said she had an MS. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was funny. Also, she's not even really a comedian, cracking jokes on the fly.
She is a comedic actress, though. But yes, of course.
That's true. Yeah.
Did better than the host.
She even made an Ozempic joke too, and she was like, sorry, I don't have my Ozempic body, because it was just like kind of a thing too, because MS can make you gain weight. But...
Right.
Jokester.
No, she's funny.
But she got a huge standing ovation, which I think was really cool. I really like her.
Yeah.
I like the series too, Dead to Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she's awesome.
Yeah.
I love her. And then, of course, this year, with the amount of people that passed away in the stars.
So many.
And Matthew Perry, specifically from Friends, Charlie Puth did a rendition of "See You Again," where they morphed it, remixed it into the Friends theme song.
Yeah.
Always emotional, those. I felt like for whatever reason this year there were a lot of big names.
So many people
that passed away.
Twitch, Treat Williams, Angus Cloud, Lance Reddick, Leslie Jordan, Led Goodman,
Alan
Bob
Arkin.
Barker. Oh my gosh, just so many
Matthew
people.
Perry, obviously.
Obviously Matthew Perry, yeah. They gave him kind of a special tribute, I guess, by doing the Friends theme song. But yeah, it's always crazy whenever they do that. Oh, there's always people that are left out, but
Also,
Jerry Springer was left out.
That's kind of surprising.
I kind of thought so too.
Barbara Walters was in there.
Okay, she was good.
Yeah. But also, like, how many years are we going to make Charlie Puth get on stage and sing "See You Again"? He will, like,
That is always the song. That song, if I just hear it though, does get the tears a brewing.
A Bruin?
A brewing, but yeah.
He'll be like, you remember we talked about this before, when Lady Gaga was dragging what's his face onto the stage? Who was
Tony Bennett?
Yeah, Tony Bennett.
Yeah.
It's like, let him take a rest.
That is such a cute little relationship they had though.
Charlie Puth is going to be like 85 and they're going to be like, "See you again?"
Yeah,
and he's
get on
like,
here.
"I'm good."
Oh my. It is a classic. Is it a classic?
I mean, I'm sure he's just like, okay.
Also, where's Wiz? What if Wiz would have came out?
Wiz was
and
on
started doing the
Alex
fronts?
Cooper.
Yeah, he was.
Those are the big headlines
Yeah.
from the Emmys.
Yeah, not too much drama. Not like the drama that we had with Selena Gomez and Taylor and Kylie
Massive.
and Timothy.
Benny.
Oh, but yeah, everybody got rewarded and
The big winners were
acknowledged. Yeah. So that was that. And then today we got news. Coachella lineup has dropped. For people who are festival goers, we'll just hit the headliners. It's going to be Lana Del Rey, Tyler the Creator, and Doja Cat on Sunday. And then the big headliner, who doesn't really have a date, it's just kind of the big headliner, is No Doubt with Gwen Stefani, which that I'm excited for.
Isn't this the person that just like is there, not the whole weekend, but like...
I don't really understand that. It's just an all-around headliner. Yeah. I don't know when...
Well, last year, wasn't it, whatchamacallit?
Red Hot... Oh, Blink-182... No.
I thought it was Swedish House Mafia or
yes,
whatever.
but I didn't see them. Where was...
I thought they had their own stage or something.
Oh, so what, they're just gonna... Gwen's just gonna sing all day?
No, but like they have like a late, like that, like they perform also or something. I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm excited. I've seen Gwen Stefani once in concert. She was insanely good. And then I also was at this casino, and there was a No Doubt, what's it called when they impersonate?
Cover band?
Yeah, cover band. Rocked that. So the real No Doubt, sign me up.
Is Tom Sandoval performing with his band?
Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras?
They didn't make the cut? They're not headlining?
I wish. There's a lot of other people.
Give me your take.
What do you mean? The lineup? Oh,
Yeah.
I hate it. But I'm going. I don't like it. I don't like it. There's like a few smaller people that not smaller, but
Small people.
people who aren't the main headliners, you can say. Like Peso Pluma, I'm excited for. Let's see here. Also, Sabrina Carpenter's going.
Dating Barry Keoghan. Okay, we haven't really talked about that or touched on that. He's dating her.
Ice Spice. Sorry. Sublime. Grimes. Suki Waterhouse.
Ugh.
J Balvin. Gene
Baldwin's
Aiko.
fine.
Little Yachty.
Okay.
Victoria Monet.
Okay. That's it.
I was trying to find more.
That's it. Okay, first off,
Yeah.
Coachella is known for being indie a little bit, especially when they started.
Indie?
Especially when they started breaking artists.
Okay, yeah.
That is a big place where you break artists. In recent 5 to 10 years, obviously it's become, the headliners are big names. It's become more commercialized, right?
Okay.
I'm just saying that I feel like in the festival circuit, they do make a little bit of an effort to get people that are like big, but kind of like.
They got Beyonce.
Okay, that year was sick. Sick.
Bad Bunny last year. Okay, keep going.
Frank Ocean last year. See, we just have different.
Frank Ocean was terrible last year. He was an hour late. He was a diva. And then he was changing things on the set as it was happening. And everyone was confused.
But do you know what
Do I know what Frank Ocean is? Who he is? He's an autiste.
But do you know what I'm saying about Frank Ocean being like a weird person that hasn't performed in 10 years?
Yeah.
That's like, oh, that person's performing? Like, that's not like the biggest person you could get, but it's like a cult following.
Yeah.
Lana Del Rey.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest person you could get? No, but does she have a cult following, like weird group of people that love her no matter what? Yes.
Yes,
And that's what I'm saying. That's what Coachella like does, where they like bring in people that are kind of weird.
I don't agree. I just think that the past 2 years the lineup hasn't hit, and that's it.
I think they do it on purpose.
Didn't they do it on purpose? Listen, Coachella, you're always going to have fun, in my opinion. It's an experience. It's a whole
There's a reason they
weekend.
don't.
You can discover artists that, like, there are a lot of people.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I maybe, like, I remember 1975. I had never heard them. I'm in the crowd
Still
in
hate them.
1975, though, in the crowd, and I'm watching them perform, and I really enjoyed them. And it's cool, because then you discover new people. Halsey.
You have the audacity to.
Halsey. I never had listened to Halsey. I listened to. Okay, I wasn't like a big fan of Halsey, but then I saw her at Coachella. She was starting off and fell in love with Halsey. So it is cool because even though there's these headliners that maybe you're going for, you're seeing so many different people and bands and artists.
We're saying the same thing.
We are saying the same thing.
Why did you act like I was saying the most
Because you're like, they're
thing?
weird.
They're not weird. They're just being broken. Like, they're like breaking artists.
Yeah. But I don't agree with the headliner part, because usually they try to get those as grabbers, like Beyonce. And I think that the headliners there's been major complaints that the headliners have not been as great the past 2 years.
Tyler, the Creator, is a cult following.
Yeah.
Lana Del Rey, cult following.
Okay.
Doja Cat is like arguably the biggest.
Yeah.
Of those three.
Yeah. I'm not excited about the three headliners, to be honest. I'm excited for No Doubt, though.
The other thing I was going to say about Sabrina Carpenter, which, remember when we talked about the guys named Ariana Grande, SpongeBob,
yeah, Ethan Slater.
having a kid, and then leaving.
Yeah.
Barry
Allegedly
Keoghan, who's Saltburn and he's really come to fruition like this year, is like massive. He also did that. Don't quote me on these movies. Whatever. He had a baby a month ago with his ex, and now he's dating Sabrina Carpenter. Who's like, give me an age, 22.
20s? Yeah, young.
23. He's 31 and had a baby last month.
Cheating exists.
I'm not saying cheating exists. I'm just saying there is an era right now that is bing, boom, bang. I am a huge star. Oh, person I was with.
See ya. It's rude. It's ruthless out there. Buckle up. Lock onto your partners, gang.
Or enjoy singledom.
That's 2024.
Enjoy singledom.
Singledom. All right. I think that's it for this episode. For more updates, Instagram, TikTok. Full episodes are now on YouTube at Playing Telephone.
We'll be doing some more things this year, too. We're excited.
Yeah.
See you later, phonies.
See ya.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.